this birth prep and pelvic floor relaxation series. In this series, I'm going to go through different movements to help you prepare for labor and birth. So there's lots and lots to take away from these videos. It's going to be 6 videos. There is no specific sequence to these movements. You can really just try them out and then stick with the ones that work best for you, the ones that you like. Maybe there are some that don't feel so great, so just leave them out. That's not a problem at all. But yes, it's a little bit of a collection of movements to help you prepare for the special time. So because there is no specific sequence, maybe you've already watched this intro. I put it at the beginning of all the videos just because I don't know where some of you are going to start. So if you've already listened to me, you already watched this intro, just skip ahead, skip to the movement part. You don't need to listen to me again. But if this is your first time, stick with me because I do have some helpful tips to give you so that you can get the most out of this series and also best prepare for that labor and birth. So a quick note on the equipment I'll be using throughout this series. I'm sometimes going to be using a yoga block or a small ball like this one, and these you can easily swap for a rolled up towel or maybe a pillow, so there's no need for you to buy these. We will also be using a Swiss ball or a stability ball. You can swap this one out for a chair or maybe sit on the couch on a softer surface. What I will say that it's not always exactly the same when we swap the stability ball out, for the simple fact that if we're moving on the ball moves with us and the chair and the couch won't. But again, it's not necessary for you to buy one. Just if you're going to invest in something, I would start here. I find that most pregnant women really love this, even just if you're working at home or relaxing, watching TV. Sometimes it's nice to just sit on it and move your pelvis around. So this is a great one to buy, but again, it's not necessary. And now just let me go over a few of the key points again to get the most out of this series. You'll want to start with these exercises around the 34th, 35th week in your pregnancy. And at this point, we really want to focus on releasing and relaxing and lengthening that pelvic floor muscle. So it's very different from what we do early in pregnancy or maybe in postpartum, where we say, lift the pelvic floor, engage the pelvic floor. We want to start to stay away from that, and we really just want to relax down there. So again, you want to start around the 34th, 35th week of pregnancy. Ideally, you would do a few of these exercises each day. I know it's not always possible, so just try to do as many as you can and as often as you can. Even a few exercises a day are great, so just pick the ones that you like. And again, we want to focus on lengthening, releasing, opening up the pelvis. This doesn't mean that we don't do any core work anymore. You can still work out, you can still do deep core workouts, but we will be focusing in those deep core workouts, we will be focusing more on engaging the transversus abdomen, whereas the pelvic floor, we want to keep it relaxed. So again, instead of saying wrap your core around and lift the pelvic floor, we don't want to lift. Just keep it relaxed. And the reason we do this is because a tense or even a hypertonic pelvic floor, which doesn't mean it's not strong, it doesn't mean weak, but it's just not tense, will make it harder for the baby to find its way through it. So the pelvic floor doesn't actually engage, it doesn't actually help us push the baby out, right? It actually has to more get out of the way to let the baby go through. So this is why we want to keep it as relaxed as possible going into these last weeks of pregnancy. And also another quick little note on weightlifting. If you're still maybe going to the gym and lifting weights, that's totally fine. You can keep doing that. But this is also a great time for you to maybe start thinking of reducing the weight you're lifting and modifying some of the exercises. And this is because when we do compound movements like maybe a squat or a deadlift, and we have some weight, we can lift some weight, which is great. But the pelvic floor cannot help but engage in those movements. So again, you can keep doing that. It's also great to keep working out. but try to maybe dial it back with the weight a little bit and focus on technique, and then do these relaxation movements on the side. So as a final note, in this series, we're really going to be focusing on releasing and relaxing that pelvic floor. We're going to be focusing on opening up the pelvis and the hips. This is going to create more space for baby to descend and then eventually come out. We're going to be doing this through different stretches, mobility, and lots of breathing work. So I know that sometimes you might be thinking, well, what exactly do I have to do? This feels weird, or I'm not doing it right. Just keep at it. This is a skill that has to be learned, and it takes practice. So just find the movements that work best for you and keep at it, keep at it. You still have quite a few weeks to prepare for birth, and I promise it will make a difference. All right, all that being said, let's get into today's movements. Okay everyone, in this video I'm going to go through 4 different exercises. We're going to work on our breathing again, and then do some hip mobility, and then at the end work on internal rotation of the hips. So for the first one, you can just sit comfortably in the butterfly position. This again also helps with the visualization of an open pelvic floor. You can also put a ball behind you if you prefer, however you feel comfortable. And here we work on our diaphragmatic breathing. So big inhale, against the pillow, into the side, and softly into the pelvic floor. Exhale, you can bring your navel up slightly, hug your core in, hug your baby in, but the pelvic floor stays relaxed. And repeat. So this is also a great point to maybe test out the difference. What does it mean on the exhale to leave the pelvic floor relaxed or to engage it? So just so you can feel the difference, try to, okay, navel comes in, I'm hugging my baby in, and I also lift the pelvic floor slightly. How does that feel versus trying to not engage it at all? And also here, if you cannot get in this position, you can also just sit with your legs here. Just do whatever your range of motion allows. Let's do a few more. Okay, now we can set the pillow to the side and get into this 90-90 position. If this is something that is not comfortable for you, this position here, try it with the pillow, by sitting on the pillow. Maybe being a little bit elevated helps. And here we're just going to mobilize the hips. So you can hold your hands back here for support, and we're going to rotate internal, external rotation. I use this move a lot in a lot of my warm-ups or some of the hip and back mobility that I've already published, so you can check those out as well. Okay, and now we're going to stay on one side. Find our posture again, so back straight, shoulders over ribs, and from here we're going to really isolate the external and internal rotation of one hip. So from this position you want to lift the knee up. We're talking about the leg that is on our side. So lift it up as far as you can and come back down. So we're working external rotation here. Let's do one more. And then we'll work internal rotation. And for this one, you might want to hold on to the front leg. It makes it a little bit easier. And we'll try to bring this back foot up. Again, as high as you can. You might feel a little contraction in the outer glute. And two more. Great. We're going to flip it on the other side. Same thing here. Starting with external rotation. Lift that knee up as high as you can. One more, and then we go into internal rotation. Here we go. You might find that one side works much better than the other. That's completely normal. Okay, and for our last exercise, we're going to get again into internal rotation of the hips. So we're on all fours, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Keep spine in a neutral position, so we don't want to be arching too much, we want to be stuck in a backward tilted pelvis. So we're in a neutral position, and from here, orient your feet out, and we are just rocking back and forth. Now let's add the inhale on the rock back as far as you can, and exhale, come back to neutral. All right, let's do one more. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you like the exercises. I hope you find it useful. Try to remember, especially the inner rotation of the hips. That will be a great one for the later stages of labor. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.